It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show, Full Court Press, with the myth, the legend, Raindrops Groulx!
Welcome to Full Court Press, your daily dose of basketball talk and action. I'm your host for this basketball journey, Justin Goulet, or as some call me, Raindrops. Now, am I going to reveal the meaning behind my nickname today? I don't know, guys. We're going to see how much time we have on the show. So keep on tuning in to Full Court Press to find out why people call me Raindrops. A lot of fun stuff on the show today. It's episode number 2. We made it. We made it to episode 2. It's a historic day, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. And thank you if you got a chance to check out episode number 1. If not, don't worry. It's all good. I got a solution for you. It's either going to be up or is currently up online, depending on when you check out this episode right here. So go on my Twitter page at JustinGoulet21. I'll be posting the link to episode 1. And of course, if you have any questions or topics you want me to cover, let me know. That's at JustinGoulet21. Now, before we get into the basketball action, quick story time. Speaking of putting episodes up online, all the social media and stuff like that, this weekend I got some news that sort of bummed me out. Not really the best news that I want to deliver to you guys, but sadly, I ran out of minutes on my SoundCloud page. I ran out of minutes. I didn't even know that was possible, but apparently with the free account, you only get 2 full hours on SoundCloud. It sucks, but you got to deal with it, right? You know, it's a sad moment for me, but don't worry, not all hope is lost, because I found a new website I'm going to be trying out. It's called yourlisten.com. So a big shout out to this great site, and if I read correctly, there's no limit on how many files you can upload. That's no limit, and no time limit either. None of this 2 hours free stuff, and everything on yourlisten.com is free. So if you guys have music or a podcast yourself, check out that website. Just give it a go. That's yourlisten.com. Now, as I said, plenty to talk about today. I'm going to take a few minutes to praise one of the greatest players of all time who had his jersey retired at the beginning of this month. And we're going to talk NBLC playoffs, the National Basketball League of Canada. Things are really picking up in the NBLC. And if we've got time, I really want to fit it into this episode. I've got an interview with Daryl McCoy of the Mississauga Power, who sadly were knocked out of the playoffs on Thursday, March 6th, when they took on the Windsor Express. And later on, I'm bringing in a good friend of mine, one of the hosts of OHL Weekly, Andrew Uyeno, and we're going to talk LeBron James and some controversy around the Detroit Pistons. Now let's get into some NBLC playoff action. Things are underway, and we've got some second-round matchups that are set in stone. Let's take a look at the matchups right now. In the second round in the Atlantic Division, we're going to see the Halifax Rainmen take on the Island Storm. Now, the Storm defeated the Moncton Miracles in a first-round best-of-5 series 3-1, and same thing for the Halifax Rainmen. They defeated the St. John Millrats 3-1. Now, it's interesting. In the first round in the NBLC, it's a best-of-5 series, but you move on to the second round and it goes NBA style, and most other sports in the playoffs, it's best-of-7. That's for both divisions, Atlantic and Central. And my prediction for this, for the second round, Halifax Rainmen or Island Storm, it's a tough one because Rainmen are close to my heart because, you know, as you know, people call me Raindrops and Rainmen. It's a relation right there. We're linked by the name. But the Island Storm are so powerful, they finished in 3rd place overall in the league this season with a record of 25-19. You look down at the Halifax Rainmen, 14-30. So it's amazing that they actually made it to the second round. Kudos to them for doing that. I love a good underdog story, but I think the Island Storm are just too powerful. Plus, you look at some of the players on the Storm. Antonio Ballard and Nick Okorie, 3rd place and 9th place in the entire league for scoring. They're in the top 10. 2 players in the top 10. It's huge. Ballard averaged 23 points on the season, and Nick Okorie, 18 points per game on the season. You look at the Halifax Rainmen, only one guy in the top 20. That's Jason Williams, finished 11th in scoring in the league with 18 points a game, right a little bit below Nick Okorie. If you look at the specific numbers, Nick Okorie had 17.79 and Jason Williams 17.65. So very close, but Jason Williams didn't crack the top 10. I'm giving the edge to the Island Storm. Now let's look at the Central Division. We got the Windsor Express. They swept the Mississauga Power. You know, congratulations to the Mississauga Power. A great season. They made the move from Oshawa to Mississauga, and they made it into the playoffs. They defeated the Ottawa Skyhawks in a play-in game, 103-100, a few weeks ago at the beginning of the month to make it into the playoffs. Now, the Power, they finished with a record of 11-33 on the regular season, last place in the entire league. You look at the Skyhawks, 21-20. They had a winning record just above the Mississauga Power, and the Power beat them. They made it to the playoffs, so kudos to them. The season's done. I'm looking forward to the next one to see how the Power do during the offseason and going into next year's campaign. Now you look at the other two teams in the Central Division playoffs, the Brampton A's versus the London Lightning. Now, this one's very interesting. The London Lightning are the reigning NBLC champions. Very, very dominant team. They got a good offense, good defense, very good chemistry within all the players. And it's funny, I mentioned Mississauga Power. Dwight McCombs, a former player for the Power, is actually a member of London Lightning these days. So it's interesting to see him play with a different team after I've seen him play on the Mississauga Power. I actually attended Game 3 of the Brampton A's versus London Lightning series, and it was funny to see McCombs in a different jersey. Great game for him. As always, he's a beast on the boards. A very dominant player. Now, Brampton A's, completely new franchise in the NBLC. They're an expansion team, and they've been huge this year. It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish in their first season in the league. 29-14. That's a win percentage of 67%, folks. Second place overall. At one point, they were in first place, leading the entire league. It's huge, and you know what? I'm going with the Brampton A's on this one. I think they're going to dethrone the reigning NBLC champions. As of right now, the Brampton A's are actually up 2-1. So depending on when you're listening to this, I may be wrong or may be right. Who knows? We're going to see what happens. But I think the momentum the Brampton A's have as a new team and the fan base is so strong, I think it's going to power them into the second round of the Central Division playoffs. Now, I said I really wanted to include this, so I'm throwing it out right now. Mississauga Power, as I said, they're out of the playoffs, but Daryl McCoy was a big reason why they made it into the playoffs in the first place. He's one of the newer guys on the team. He joined near the tail end of the season, and he's got a very interesting story. Played 4 years with the Drexel Dragons collegiate basketball, where he averaged 3.8 points per game and 6.8 rebounds. He then went on to play in Mozambique. That's right, Mozambique international basketball before being signed by the Mississauga Power. Now, I don't want to get too into detail, so let's cut right to the man himself, Daryl McCoy. Daryl, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I'm fantastic. Real pleasure to have you in studio with me. Now, I want to talk about you as a new player on the Mississauga Power, but before we get into that, let's just, where did basketball start in your life? How'd you get into the sport?
Basketball started for me in about middle school. I was always bigger than everybody, so everyone just said, you should just go out, try it, see if you like it or not, and I just took it from there.
Nice, and it's just, the rest is history, as they say. Yeah. You're a pretty big guy. How big are you?
I'm about 6'9", 280.
6'9", yeah, it's a rare case where I actually feel really short, because I'm usually one of the taller guys in the room, but... So you started in middle school, and where did it go from there? You play in high school, college?
I played in high school, I played in college. I went to Drexel University in Philadelphia.
Okay, how was that?
That was good. It was a good 4 years in my life.
Definitely. What'd you study there?
Communications and criminal justice.
Oh, cool. Did you go right to the NBLC after playing at Drexel, or?
At first, in August, I went to Mozambique, Africa. I was there until December, and then the end of December, I came to Mississauga.
What year was that? That was last year that you were playing in Mozambique?
Yeah, that was 2013, yeah.
Oh, wow. So that must have been an amazing experience. Yeah. How was that?
I say it's an experience everyone should have. To go to another country, live their culture.
And then and you're playing the game of basketball too. You're playing the game you love. Were there any players growing up that you modeled yourself after, or?
Not really. Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they throw out Kevin Garnett out. He's definitely a legend.
Yeah.
How did you join the Mississauga Power? How did that all come about?
They reached out to a guy, my agent. And my agent told me about him, and then I said, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, just give it a shot. So where are you originally from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yes.
So how was making, you make the move to Mozambique. Well, first you go to Pennsylvania for Drexel, then Mozambique, and now Mississauga. How is that moving around? How does that affect you?
It's culture, culture is really different everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot of different changes you got to get used to. Did you kind of mold right into the Mississauga atmosphere? Was it, comfortable change?
Yeah, because Connecticut is a lot like here, cold, a lot of snow, stuff like that. So it's not really a change for we're going to Africa where our winters is their summers is 105 degrees every day. Stuff like that.
It just throws your system all over the place. What's going on here? Now, how did you adjust to joining the Mississauga Power? Did the guys welcome you onto the roster?
My adjustment here has been well so far. The guys, I like the guys a lot. They're very cool, very laid back guys. Everybody gets along with everybody.
That's really good. Now I know a lot of teams they have team houses, so a bunch of players live together.
Yes.
Are you staying in one of the team houses?
Yes, I am.
Who else is in the house with you?
It's me, Dwight McCombs, Bo Harris, Alex Johnson, and Eric Petty.
Nice. Yeah, I've met all those guys except for Eric. They're all a bunch of jokers, really nice guys. That must be really cool. Now one little fun question. You wear number 21, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, the 21, that's my favorite number. I wore 21 when I played basketball.
Okay.
Why'd you choose 21?
I didn't actually get to choose my number this time
okay,
because I'm coming into we have new uniforms and I'm coming into new uniforms. If I wasn't here at the beginning of the year where everybody got to pick their number, so like I kind of fell into that one. But I don't mind having that number. Old school Kevin Garnett, like I said, so I don't mind having it.
Exactly, old school Kevin Garnett. That's the way to do it, right? Now I know this season the Power. Lately you guys have been seeing some struggles. What do you bring to the table that it's going to help the team going forward?
What I bring to the table, I feel, is my rebounding skills and my post-defense skills.
Okay. So those are your two specialties,
yes.
I guess. So what's next for Daryl McCoy? What else do you have on the table? Do you plan on staying with the Power for a while? Or?
Yeah, I really like, because it's close to home. I really like it out here. I really like the professionalism of the league and the team and stuff like that. I would love to stay here.
Yeah, it's definitely a great league. What do you think about the movement in Canada with basketball? It's growing each and every day.
Because this is my first time hearing about the league, but I feel like it could be compared to the NBA D League that they have in the States, like stuff like that. Like I feel like you could interact with their D League, have the NBL teams play D League teams, just to make the league bigger.
Exactly. That'd be a great idea. Do you see yourself one day playing in the NBA? Is that a goal?
Yes, I do. That is one of my goals.
Do you have a team that you root for, a team you'd want to play for?
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. Play with LeBron, Bosh, and D Wade. Nice. Good choices right there. Well, Daryl, I think that's everything we need. Just thank you so much for joining me today.
All right, thanks. No problem.
And again, I want to thank Daryl McCoy. It was great to have him on the show. A lot of fun to talk to, and he's really fun to watch. He's really known for his rebounding, and he lives up to that hype around his rebounding skills. Now going into the NBA, not too long ago, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Big Z, had his jersey number 11 retired by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Congratulations to Big Z, one of the most beloved figures, not just in Cleveland Cavaliers history, but in Cleveland sports history. Well-deserved, spent almost his entire career with the Cavs, so kudos, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Now another player who had his jersey retired, my favorite player of all time. He's a former MVP of the league, an 11-time NBA All-Star, former Rookie of the Year, 4-time NBA scoring champion, 3-time NBA steals leader, number 3, Allen Iverson, the crossover master. He revolutionized that move. He revolutionized the game. Certainly not short of controversy, Allen Iverson is my favorite player of all time. His number 3 Philadelphia 76ers jersey is the first jersey I ever owned. I read his biography. I've seen all these movies about him. I really suggest you guys watch No Crossover, The Trial of Allen Iverson. A lot of controversy. Back in 1993, he was involved in a bowling alley brawl. He went to prison for 4 months. He was only 17 years old. Prison for 4 months. Eventually, he was released. He went to Georgetown, and of course, the rest is history. Went to the NBA, drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, won the Rookie of the Year award, and he had a stellar career. In over 10 years in the NBA, he averaged 26.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game, while revolutionizing so many aspects of the game. One of the biggest underdogs, and in my opinion, the greatest player to never have won an NBA championship. And LeBron James said it not too long ago. He said Allen Iverson is pound for pound the greatest basketball player of all time. I believe that's what he said. I may be paraphrasing that, but I know he said pound for pound the greatest player. I don't know if he meant NBA or just the sport of basketball. But I'm not totally going to disagree with LeBron James. Allen Iverson is my all-time favorite player, a huge inspiration on my game. It was an honor to watch him play, and I watched the retirement ceremony. You guys check me out on Twitter at JustinGoulet21. If you haven't seen the retirement ceremony, I'm going to be posting it there. An amazing moment, and I'm so proud and happy for Allen Iverson. So kudos, congratulations, AI, the answer, Mr. Allen Iverson. Right now, I got a real special guest sitting across from me in the studio. I'm pretty excited. You guys might recognize his sweet voice from the show OHL Weekly. I've got Andrew Uyeno. Andrew, thank you for joining me, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having me. Sweet voice. I like that.
I know. Well, it's true. It's true. I try not to lie. So
I'm going to put that on my resume. Sweet
exactly.
Voice.
Why not? In your special skills.
I got a sweet voice. All right.
So we got a lot to cover. I want to cover LeBron James, Space Jam 2, LeBron James's face mask, and some controversy surrounding Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons. And of course, you're the hockey guru here. So if you have any basketball questions, we're going to get to those. You throw them my way, and I will answer them as best as I can, my friend. All right, so let's get right into it. LeBron James, Space Jam 2. What are your thoughts on that? LeBron James.
We got a jam. Yeah, We got a jam. I got that song stuck in my
That's
head.
what I'm talking about. Let's we got to blast that in the studio.
What do I think about LeBron James? Love him as a player. Love him. One of the most dominant players in the league. Obviously,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
But to be in Space Jam, I don't think Space Jam needs a sequel.
Well, they've officially ruled it out for now, the sequel
Yeah.
to Space Jam 2. But in my opinion, if they are going to make a Space Jam 2, who else are you going to get? You got to get LeBron James in Space Jam 2. You're not going to get Kevin Durant because he was already in the movie Thunderstruck, which I own on DVD. Haven't watched it yet. Maybe this weekend. That's what we're going to be
There you
doing,
go,
Andrew. Watching
Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck, starring Kevin Durant and James Belushi.
Once that's done, we can see Like Mike because Little Bow Wow was amazing.
That's a fantastic movie right there.
Right?
But back on track to Space Jam 2. If it is going to happen one day, you got to get LeBron James to do it. If you're making this movie while LeBron's still playing in the game and he's the best player in the world today, that's a very strong opinion of mine that he's the best player on the planet. You're going to get somebody to be in Space Jam 2, you got to get LeBron James because he is this generation's Michael Jordan.
I agree with you, but I think maybe Shaq or Yao Ming. Those are my votes.
You know what? If I don't know, Shaq did Kazam, I don't know if we want to see
Kazam
Shaq.
2?
Yeah, hey, maybe. Yeah, let's see a sequel
That's a straight
instead
to
of a
DVD.
sequel to Space Jam. Let's see a sequel to Kazam. Why not?
Straight to DVD. Speaking of Shaq and other ventures, have you ever heard of the game he had for I think it was Super Nintendo? It was like Shaq Fu.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
It was like Shaq doing karate.
I'm gonna have to go buy a Super Nintendo
And
again.
get Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu organize a little tournament. Why not, right? But yeah, so Space Jam. I love the first movie.
Movie was
one of my
fantastic.
favorite movies as a kid. I Believe I Can Fly. Still,
I believe I can. Yeah.
It still brings tears to your eyes. That song.
Right?
Thinking of that movie, all the good times you had
When he
watching that
steps
movie.
out on the court from the spaceship.
It's absolutely
Amazing.
an amazing moment, one of the most historic moments in film history. So if they do a Space Jam 2 one day, if it's anytime soon, get LeBron James in it, or if not, just don't make a sequel. You just leave it as it is.
Exactly. It's a classic.
It is, it is a classic. Such a random, weird concept. Michael Jordan with the Looney Tunes crew,
Hey, it worked.
it did work. It was an amazing film. Weird concept, but the end result was fantastic. Now, keeping it with LeBron James, not too long ago, he was wearing a black face mask because he broke his nose during a game, wearing a black face mask. And now he's wearing the clear face mask because the league says, no, you can't wear the black face mask. What are your thoughts on that, Andrew?
Why are the league telling him what colors his face mask should be? You know what I mean?
I think it's mainly it's more like, I don't know if it's a safety issue or something like that, which it doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe they see the black face mask as a distraction. A lot of people are saying he looks like Batman. I'm not going to deny that.
I heard Batman and Zorro. Those are the two I heard.
Zorro Man or Batoro.
I think if it doesn't obstruct his view, then he can wear whatever face mask he wants, right? As long as it's not doesn't have flame decals and
It's like a Captain America
like-
mask.
yeah, like that, or a Thor helmet, so people get distracted by it.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
because the player should be focused on the game. I've played against guys who wear safety goggles. I've never played against someone who has a full face mask, but you're focused on the game. You shouldn't be focusing on what the guy you're guarding is wearing on his face, because who cares about that? You're focused on getting the ball in the net and stopping the guy wearing
It's
the
just
face mask.
why
from
didn't
getting
you
the ball in
stop
the
him?
net.
I had to compliment him on his shoes. Those are some nice Nikes. But I think if that's the face mask that's comfortable with him, the league should let him wear it. I think the reason the league has a problem with it is because that people are making a big deal about it, because people are and if it's clear, it doesn't make as big of a statement. People don't notice it as much.
Well, that's true, because you've seen guys like Rip Hamilton, even on the Raptors, Nando De Colo, wear the clear face mask, and no one, they're like, oh, he's wearing the mask. Patrick Patterson of the Raptors, they call him Pat Man.
It's if he were to wear maybe a bright blue, then they would probably if anything that clear, they probably wouldn't have a problem with. And I think that it shouldn't matter what color the face mask is. If he's comfortable with it and he wants to wear it, let him wear it. And it's not players are going to be focused on the game, not going to be focused on what he's wearing on his face. You know what I mean?
Exactly. My thoughts. Those are my thoughts, too. As a player myself, someone's wearing a black face mask, whatever. I'm not going to let that distract my game.
It's just what are we going to start telling people what shorts to wear or socks. Like, now it's getting like, if that's what makes us comfortable and that's the one he wants to wear, let him wear it. It's not I feel like they're making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah, they're almost making too much of a big deal out of it. It's a little crazy. But for now, LeBron wearing the clear face mask, and that's what all players in the league who need to wear masks, they're going to be sticking with the clear face mask. That's the situation that we're in. Maybe as the time progresses, they'll allow the black face mask. We'll see what happens, right?
One day I want to see an NBA where you can wear a bright pink face mask. That is the dream.
Exactly. Why not? Never know. If you believe, you will achieve.
Right?
Don't stop believing, like Steve Perry said. Dreams do come true, Andrew. Now, switching away from LeBron James to Andre Drummond. I mentioned his name a little earlier. Of the Detroit Pistons, one of the most dominant young players in the league. The dude is a beast on the court. But there's some controversy around him right now because there's one of the stars of the TV show iCarly. She had some racy photos, if you will. Racy photos were leaked, and she's claiming that Andre Drummond is the one who leaked those images because they went out for about a week or something. What do you think all about that, Andrew?
That's a tough one there. I think he came out and said he didn't leak the photos, but of course, like, if you're gonna blame someone, that's the first thing they're gonna say. Right?
Exactly.
I didn't do it.
They're gonna deny it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of a sticky situation because when someone sends stuff like that, you want it to be private, and it's like, and you trust that you're obviously gonna send it to someone you trust, and then when they break that trust, it's kind of devastating. And they shouldn't have leaked the pictures, which is a total break of trust. But it's also the same, like, it's not saying you kind of you gave him the pictures, and I feel maybe both are kind of like, I don't know who did what, but I both are kind of in the wrong. You know what I mean? Because, like, you did send that one person the pictures, and you did hope that they were just keeping them themselves. But in the age of the internet that it is, you have to be very careful.
Exactly. You really do have to be careful. But
sending what you're sending out.
But when it comes to basketball, it clearly hasn't affected Andre's play on the court because he's averaging 13 points and 13 rebounds a game. That's outstanding. He's averaging a double-double. It's huge.
Well, it's good to see that things off the court aren't affecting his head, which is probably one of the biggest things that young athletes like him have to worry about, especially that you see maybe in other sports like baseball or hockey when girlfriends come into the mix or something like that. Usually it might affect their play and get in their head.
It just throws them off, and it affects the entire team too, because then
they're playing bad.
You have a star player, he's affected by something happening off the court, that throws the entire team dynamic off.
Exactly. I want to talk about for 1 second how athletes get these celebrity women to date them, and I think I should have been an athlete. Because, like, you look at Kate Upton, she was dating Justin Verlander, I think, from the MLB.
Yeah.
Then you got Kim Kardashian, who dated Chris Humphrey.
Chris Humphries, yeah.
Chris Humphries.
Former Toronto Raptor.
And you also got her sister, who dated
she was
Lamar Johnson.
Married to Lamar Odom, actually.
Lamar Odom, yeah.
You're just so many thoughts going through your head, Andrew.
All
these names are being thrown
Lamar
around.
Odom, yeah. And it's like, man, I should have. I don't know why I didn't become a athlete other than my lack of skill at any sport. But other than that, like, that
might be something that hinders your
your athlete play, right?
Any other question period, Andrew? Any other questions you want to throw my way about basketball? You're like I said, you're the hockey guru. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask me that I could help you out with?
What is basketball?
Basketball is a way of life, sir. That's what it is. Basketball is a way of life. That's how I'm answering that one.
I like it. All right. Well, I'll ask some serious questions. All right. If you could pick one team to play for other than the Toronto Raptors, what team would it be?
I would say
why?
It's a split between that's tough. It's a split between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Dallas Mavericks. It's surprising. Why not Miami Heat? Oh, yeah. Like, I would love to play with LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, but it'd be even more enjoyable to play against them. Why not?
Sense.
Philadelphia 76ers, because my favorite player of all time, Allen Iverson, played for the 76ers. One of my favorite players in the league today, Andre Iguodala, was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers are always one of my favorite teams growing up.
Iverson.
Same with the Dallas Mavericks, because Dirk Nowitzki is my second favorite player growing up, because I was always the tall kid who would shoot threes. So I was, I related a lot to Dirk Nowitzki. I love Dallas, love Philadelphia. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. It'd be a lot of fun to play for either one of those teams. Plus, a great, rich history with both those teams. They, their history goes way back.
They actually put Allen Iverson's number up in the stadium a little while ago.
Indeed, they did. That's what I was talking about earlier on the show.
Fargo, yeah.
Yeah, I was very excited to see that. As the listeners, you clearly got from when I was ranting and raving about Allen Iverson, just talking about that retirement ceremony. It was an absolute blast to see that. Well, Andrew, anything else? Anything do you have Twitter? Anything you want to plug?
I do have Twitter. Before we get to my Twitter, I have one more question.
All right, shoot.
Actually, maybe two.
Shoot.
Derrick Rose, where did he go?
Derrick Rose, man, I kind of feel bad for D Rose. Derrick Rose, one of the most promising young players in the league, but that injury a few years ago, that really, really threw him off. The injury a little while back, it's almost like he's scared to play at his full ability. Whenever he does get back on the court. And it's a tough situation. I don't think he's going to be as dominant as he used to be. He's a former league MVP. I don't know if he's going to get back to that level.
He was so young when he was maybe elevated to this limelight that he was in, especially being in Chicago.
He was touted. He was touted as Chicago's, their next Michael Jordan.
And
really.
I think he even got it. I think he got on the cover of NBA, one of the NBA games.
Oh yeah,
games. I forget which one.
Yeah,
and 2K13.
He's on the cover with Kevin Durant and Blake Griffin.
And it's like he had so much, and it sucks to see a young athlete like this get hurt, and you want to see him come back and play like he was. And he might. You never know. He might come back from this injury and work hard and get back to where he was. But
we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, because I'm a big fan of Derrick Rose, so hopefully we see him back in action and back to that play when he was an MVP player.
So one last question. If you could choose any time to play basketball in, what time would it be?
Like time period wise?
Time period wise.
That's I'm inclined to say now because the NBA is so exciting these days. But even going back to the early 2000s, I'm going to stick with the early 2000s when Vince Carter was with the Toronto Raptors because Vinsanity was alive and well, very, very strong. You had Kobe Bryant in his younger days. You had all these young players, and then a couple years later, LeBron James comes in the league. So say I'm playing in the early 2000s, LeBron comes in the league. I'm a veteran by that point, and I'm teaching this young kid what to do on the court. That would be a real trip.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. Cool. It'd be fantastic. Well, Andrew, you know what? This might not be the last time I have you on Full Court Press.
Oh no.
Fantastic talking with you, buddy. Covered a lot of stuff. What's what do you got to tell us about OHL Weekly?
It's a show. No, it's an OHL hockey show. We keep you, and me and my co-host James Sebastian Scott, we keep you up to date with everything going on in the OHL, and we're gonna have some pretty cool things going on. We got a playoff roundtable coming up, some cool interviews.
Nice.
And we'll be ramping up for the Memorial Cup and the playoffs, so it's going to be fun.
Exciting
Stretch down
times.
the road for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. Do you have
growing that playoff beard?
Nice. Yeah, you got to get the playoff
going
beard nice and strong. Nice
I wish
and
I
thick.
could grow hair. I can't grow any facial hair.
One day, like I said earlier, don't stop believing. If you believe, you will achieve, Andrew.
That's what they keep telling me.
Now, Twitter.
My Twitter is @AndrewU92. I tweet things from like funny cat pictures to like, I don't know, things about me eating pizza. That's no, I'm kidding. No,
eating breakfast. I hope.
Breakfast. Flynn's
brigade.
breakfast brigade. Right? No, you can add me on Twitter @AndrewU92, and you'll find some cool things there. I'll be talking about hockey right now. I'm tweeting a lot about the trade deadline that's going on, but
of course.
Other than that, that's about it.
Awesome stuff, Andrew. Thank you so much. For those of you listening now, I'm shaking Andrew's hand, thanking him for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Like I said, it might not be the last time we have you here on Full Court Press. Thank you, a real pleasure. So I want to thank Andrew for joining me on the show today. It's nice to talk basketball with someone who's more of a hockey guy. And I love when two sports like that can mesh together. It's really fun to see that. Well, that wraps things up for today, sadly. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. And remember, if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about, let me know on Twitter @JustinGoulet21. I respond to everything on Twitter. I love social media, so I will definitely get on that. And I will have episode 1 up online as soon as possible if it's not up already. But for now, I gotta head out. Until next time, I'm Justin Goulet. And remember to go out and hit the court. Spring's coming up. Keep the basketball movement alive and well. In the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right. And I'm out.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Raindrops Goulet.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.